Humans have successfully reshaped the genetics of every living creature around us. Wild animals are currently refusing to surrender to human control. Both of these statements are entirely true, yet they directly contradict each other. The deeply unsettling reality is that the era of traditional human-led domestication has ended permanently. Animals are no longer waiting for us to put them in cages. They are now secretly deploying a biological Trojan horse to infiltrate our sprawling cities, and we are oblivious to the invasion. When you look at a tiger raised by humans, you might feel a false sense of safety. Taming simply alters the superficial behavior of a single wild beast. Domestication, however, is the total rewriting of an entire species' genetic code. It is a grueling, violent process that nature fundamentally rejects. Consider the vast human empires that spent centuries trying to domesticate the African zebra. Despite our greatest technological and agricultural advancements, the zebras fiercely resisted. Their survival instincts are highly hyperactive because they evolved alongside apex predators like lions and hyenas. They are incredibly aggressive, notoriously prone to panic, and unpredictable. The specific genetic traits that force an animal to submit and serve simply do not exist inside them. Their wild instincts are far more powerful than any command we could ever give. If you think domestication is human civilization's greatest achievement, comment 1. If you believe it was our most arrogant mistake, comment 0. To understand why some animals submit and others fight to the death, we must look at a disturbing historical event. In 1959, a Soviet geneticist named Dmitry Belyaev launched a highly secretive and controversial experiment in Siberia. He took wild silver foxes and forced them to breed based on one singular metric. He strictly selected for friendliness toward humans. What happened next over the following decades shocked the global scientific community. The foxes did not just become friendly, their entire biological structure began to collapse in on itself. By generation 15, their internal chemistry was unrecognizable. Their stress hormones were drastically slashed in half. Their serotonin spiked unnaturally high. This forced friendliness triggered a profound genetic mutation known in biology as the domestication syndrome. Their rigid, alert ears flopped down limply. Their straight tails curled tightly. Their sharp snouts shrank into permanently juvenile, baby-like faces. Their fur lost its natural camouflage, developing bizarre patches of white. Some even began wagging their tails exactly like domestic dogs when a human approached. In just a few short decades, humanity erased millions of years of their wild, predatory nature. That overwhelming friendliness was actually a symptom of total biological collapse. In our previous video, the leopard seal refused to submit to anyone, but this animal physically destroys its own biology just for the privilege of being petted. But biology does not always wait for a human command. If animals can be forced to physically change by human intervention, what happens when they decide to change themselves? To understand this unsettling shift in evolution, you only need to look at the creature currently sleeping on your sofa. We confidently believe we are the masters of our pets, but the uncomfortable truth is that humans never truly domesticated cats. Cats domesticated themselves. Thousands of years ago, when early human civilizations began storing massive piles of grain, mice quickly followed the food source. Wild cats quietly followed the mice into our settlements. The cats that tolerated human presence without attacking were rewarded with warmth, shelter, and an endless supply of prey. They quickly realized that manipulating human emotions was the ultimate evolutionary survival strategy. Look closely at the cat on your sofa. It actively manipulated you into providing free food, expensive medical care, and constant warmth. It altered its vocalizations, developing a specific meow that mimics the frequency of a human baby crying, effectively hijacking your biological instinct to nurture. This cat won the evolutionary lottery because you failed to realize you were being used. They trained us to serve them, while making us believe we were the masters. If you still confidently believe you own your pet, comment 1. If you finally realize your pet owns you, comment 0. Right now, this exact phenomenon of history is repeating itself on a much more massive scale. In the dark alleys of our sprawling concrete cities, a silent, uninvited invasion is taking place. In 2020, a groundbreaking biological study by Dr. Kevin Parsons revealed an incredibly uncomfortable truth hidden in the busy streets of London. The urban red foxes living in the city are actively and intentionally mutating their own bone structure. Compared to their rural counterparts hunting in the forests, these city foxes are rapidly developing significantly smaller brain cases. They are actively growing shorter and wider snouts, stripping away their ancient predatory features. They are undergoing the exact same physical changes seen in the Soviet fox experiment, but this time, there is no scientist forcing them to breed. By constantly eating our discarded garbage and actively avoiding human confrontation, they are naturally reducing their own deep-seated fear. They are physically rewiring their own skulls to perfectly exploit the urban environment. And they are not alone in this structural transformation. Deep inside the towering skyscrapers, brilliant urban crows have learned to recognize individual human faces, holding grudges against those who wrong them. They calculate complex city traffic patterns to drop hard nuts onto the asphalt, patiently waiting for our cars to crush the shells before retrieving the food during a red light. These creatures are no longer behaving like wild animals struggling to survive in our world. They are quietly observing our daily habits, studying our routines, and adapting their entire physical biology to drain our abundant resources. They are intentionally weaponizing their own friendliness and proximity to steal from us, and we are actively rewarding them for it. Do not wait for ambitious scientists to invent a brand new pet in a sterile laboratory. The absolute next phase of global domestication is happening right now, hiding in plain sight in your own backyard. We arrogantly believe that we are fully controlling this fragile, complex ecosystem. We built the concrete walls to keep the wild out, but they did not wait for our choice. They chose us. You should not watch our next video if you want to keep living with the comforting illusion that you are the master of your own home.